You were not a coincidence. You were a response. Some encounters cannot be explained. They transcend time, touch the soul, and disrupt what once seemed orderly. You weren't sent by chance. The angels whisper that your name was written in heaven even before your paths crossed. This connection pulsating within you, intense, inexplicable, sometimes painful, holds a greater purpose than you can grasp right now. His presence in your life is not an accident. It is a calling. You were placed in his path like a lighthouse on a dark night, like an unseen but felt remedy. He, with his hidden wounds, came across your light and didn't know how to handle such overwhelming truth. The angels say, you were chosen to be a mirror, not a burden, to remind him that love still exists and has a face. You stir within him memories of what is pure, of what is divine, of what has been forgotten. This man, so confused, so defensive, is experiencing an internal earthquake since his eyes met yours. Because you don't enter quietly. You awaken. And awakening is painful. What you carry is uncommon. It is presence. It is healing. It is a walking prayer. Your mission is not to force him to love. It is simply to exist with truth. And that, in itself, is already changing everything. The angels are reorganizing his plans without him even realizing it. They are cleaning the dusty windows of his heart so that one day, he can clearly see who you are. Do not demand answers now. His process is slower, more subtle. But it is happening. Where there is true light, darkness cannot linger for long. Even if everything still seems confusing, trust, there is a plan. And you are part of the miracle that he still does not understand. Before I formed you in the womb I knew you, and before you were born I consecrated you. Jeremiah 1 verse 5. Every journey that begins in God's silence is, in reality, a higher calling. A calling that isn't heard with the ears, but felt with the skin, with the body, with memories from an origin we may not understand. You felt it. It wasn't just your imagination. It was as if the universe was whispering, "Pay attention." And without knowing why, you began to notice signs. Small, almost imperceptible, but real. Too many coincidences to be mere chance. This person who crossed your path, with subtle gestures, unfinished words, and eyes that express more than their mouth, did not come to fill your void. Rather, they came to awaken memories your soul has long carried. There's something about them that draws you inward. It's not neediness, it's recognition. The angels say, you've known him before. And he knows you as well, even if he's trying to resist it. This recognition comes unexpectedly. It hits like an avalanche. It disrupts everything. It unravels all that you thought you knew about love. Because it's not about typical romance. It's about destiny. And destinies often clash before they embrace. You are not called to be his safe haven, not yet. You are called to be the storm that awakens, the light that reveals, the hand that doesn't constrain, but guides. And this, dear soul, demands strength, a strength that only the chosen carry. And you were chosen, not by him, but by something far greater, by something that understood that, among so many souls, only yours will have the courage to remain whole, even while loving someone who still doesn't know if he loves. Don't rush time. Time is also learning to navigate this love. While it learns, the heavens are at work. Angels move what is invisible to the eye. They touch his heart in silence. They present your image when he tries to escape. And they whisper your name in dreams he can't comprehend. This is the invisible mission you bear: to love without losing yourself, to wait without abandoning yourself, to believe without force. Because true love never arrives as an imposition, it arrives as a revelation. He wants to love, but he doesn't know how. Have you noticed how he hesitates when he's near you? How his eyes seem to wander into space, searching for words that never come out. This isn't indifference, it's confusion. Not the kind of confusion that comes from a lack of feeling, but from feeling too much and not knowing where to put it all. The angels say, his heart was made to love, but they forgot to teach him to trust. That's why he pulls back. That's why he hides. That's why he seems distant, even when he longs to be close. He grew up learning that love is a threat, that opening up means getting hurt, and that those who love end up losing. But then you arrived, and brought a new narrative. Yet he still doesn't know if he can embrace it. You are a presence that touches without causing pain. You are a gaze that embraces without demanding anything. And that disarms him. But before he can surrender, he needs to confront what he hides even from himself. That's why the angels ask you for patience. Not the kind of patience that waits expectantly, but the kind that understands the value of what you feel. This story isn't about quick resolutions. It's about deep healing. You are witnessing a man in the process of rebuilding himself. And the light you carry is illuminating cracks he never wanted to acknowledge. This hurts, but it also sets him free. Even if he hasn't said it yet, he feels it. He senses that you are different, that your presence carries the essence of home, of truth, of a future. He feels that with you, he could rest. He could be himself, without masks, without fear. But fear is still too strong. The angels are with him now, surrounding his mind and dismantling old beliefs. They are whispering encouragement in his ear, preparing the ground for a new beginning. Meanwhile, you don't have to do anything. Just keep being you. Because it is precisely that, your essence, that is making him question himself, allowing himself, and drawing closer. And there will come a day, not marked on any calendar but registered in heaven, when he will stop running. On that day, he will look at you with the eyes of someone who has finally understood, you are not a threat. You are the answer. You are the reflection of the parts of him that have not yet been healed. There is something in him that recognizes you even before your eyes meet. It's not a typical attraction. It's as if you activate an ancient code within him. A mirror, perhaps, one that doesn't distort but reveals. Since you arrived, he has found no peace. Not because you demand it, but because your presence brings everything to the surface. The wounded child he hides, the man he wants to become, the traumas he has tried to forget, and most importantly, the love he never learned to experience. You are the reflection of the parts of him that have not yet been healed. And this bothers him. Because loving you is not comfortable, it's transformative. The angels say, you force him to look. To confront the shadows, the emotional dependencies, the patterns that keep him trapped. Your light already speaks for you. That's why he hesitates. Loving someone like you takes courage. Courage to leave the surface and dive deep. Courage to admit that he spent his whole life running from the truth. But there's something in you that doesn't allow escape. Your gaze, your calm, your strength even in pain. All of this breaks down walls he took years to build. You became a mirror, one that doesn't flatter the ego but reveals the soul. And he sees you there, and he sees himself too. That's why sometimes he pulls away. Because facing you means facing himself. It means admitting that true love doesn't come with guarantees, but with depth. And depth is scary. But the angels are whispering to him, night after night, that there's nothing to fear. That you don't want to take him from himself. You want to help him return home. To his heart. To his essence. Even if he still fights against it, something inside him is already yielding. Because no soul forgets a mirror that reveals it with love. You are not here to fix him. You are here to remind him of who he is, beyond his fears. And he, even without words, has already begun to realize, there is healing in your gaze. There is forgiveness in your touch. And there is truth in your presence. You are the turning point. He just hasn't figured out how to deal with it yet. Something silent has begun to move within him. Perhaps you don't see it clearly. His gestures still seem the same. But there's a detail in his eyes that wasn't there before. A longer pause between words. A different breath when your name is spoken. It is the beginning. The beginning of awakening. The angels say, the heart that was asleep has begun to listen. To listen to memories he didn't know he had. To desires he suppressed for so long. To the name of love, with your voice. This doesn't mean everything has changed, yet. But it means something has been touched. And once touched, it does not go back to sleep. Is he quieter lately? More thoughtful? It's because he's listening to what he never had the courage to feel. Your presence has become a living prayer within him. He realizes he misses you even before he leaves. That he feels jealous without wanting to control. That he wants to know about you without knowing what to ask. It is new. And new things can be scary. But he is waking up. And what awakens within the heart cannot be forgotten. You with your calm light, with your way of existing without demanding, are teaching him what love without prisons is. And that, for someone who lived surrounded by emotional contracts, is revolutionary. Do not expect grand gestures. Not yet. Awakening begins small, like a seed breaking through the earth from within. But it is real. The angels show this clearly. Every time he thinks of you before sleeping. Every time he dreams of what he has not lived. Every time he smiles alone remembering a detail of yours. His heart is reprogramming itself. You are the code. The password. The key. And he, even confused, has already begun to type. He doesn't know what he will find on the other side. But he feels it is safe. That it is right. That it is yours. The angels continue to touch his soul. And every touch, even if invisible, is one more certainty that you did not pass through him in vain. The love you planted is germinating. And it will blossom. You have felt as if you were walking in circles with him. As if everything was about to begin. And then suddenly, you found yourself back at square one? This cycle has a name. It has roots. It has a reason. The angels say, his fear is not of you. It is of what you represent. Because loving you requires presence, truth, surrender. And that, for someone who learned to hide, is nearly unbearable. So he goes, and comes back. He approaches, then disappears. He smiles, and falls silent. It is the behavior of someone who wants, but cannot. And you, with your whole heart, try to understand. Try not to blame yourself. Try not to get hurt. But there are days when everything feels too heavy. Know this with all your soul. This back and forth has nothing to do with your worth. It has to do with his ghosts. He learned to love with fear, to expect abandonment, to distrust peace. And when he met you, all of that was threatened. Because you do not offer drama. You offer truth. And truth is frightening. But even with all the resistance, he returns. Because there is something in you that calls to him, that soothes and unsettles him at the same time, that makes him want to run, and yet stay. The angels are closely monitoring this cycle. They see no fault in you. They see surrender, pure love. And that is why they continue to strengthen your heart. They whisper, "You are not stuck in a loop. You are helping a heart heal in its own time." It is difficult, I know. But each of his returns is an attempt, imperfect yes, to draw closer to what he still does not know how to maintain. You are a lesson for him. And lessons require patience. This does not mean accepting less than you deserve. It means understanding that some healings do not occur at the speed of desire. And even in this exhausting cycle, there is movement. There is evolution. There are seeds being watered. Love, when true, finds paths even in the labyrinth. And the angels assure you, there will come a time when he will no longer run. Because he will understand that the peace you offer is exactly what he has been searching for while running. There are healings that do not come with remedies. They come with presence, with shared silence, with eyes that say, "I see you," without needing words. You have been that healing for him. The angels say, "Your love does not shout. It whispers. And even so it heals." Because what touches deeply is not noise. It is truth. And your truth touched him in a way no one ever could. You arrived without promising anything. And yet, you delivered everything. You delivered affection in small gestures. You delivered comfort even on days of absence. You delivered forgiveness even when your heart ached. And that, for someone who learned to doubt everything, is a miracle. He may not have said it yet, but he feels it. He feels there is something different about you. He feels that, even in your silences, there is presence. That even when you withdraw, there is love. And that confuses him, but also comforts him. Because you do not demand. You do not charge. You do not imprison. You love with freedom. And the love that liberates is what heals the most. Because it does not need to control. It just trusts. You have been a balm for the wounds he never had the courage to show. You have been relief for pains he could not even name. And yet, even being healing, you also bleed. Because loving someone in process is also crossing internal deserts. But the angels are with you, touching your soul on nights when you cry hidden, strengthening your faith on days when his silence hurts more than any word. They remind you, you were not called to save, but to love with wholeness. And this love, so whole, so firm, so yours, is working miracles in silence. He will wake up one day and realize that the lightness he feels has your name. That the peace that arrived slowly had your hands. That the love that healed him was yours. Because love, when true, heals even from afar. And your love, my dear soul, has already begun to do that. There are moments when heaven is silent, but the angels continue to speak. Today they want you to know, there is a plan greater than your mind can comprehend. And in this plan, nothing is out of place. You, him, this encounter, all of it was orchestrated with details only the divine could conceive. You came into his life as an answer to prayers he didn't even know he had made. And he, even without understanding, felt it. He felt there was something about you that could not be explained, only experienced. The angels say, God's timing is perfect. He prepares. And that is exactly what is happening now. While you wait, something is being arranged. While you ask why, heaven is saying trust. Because pieces are moving. Hearts are being shaped. Paths are opening. You are not alone in this waiting. God is guiding every step of this story with invisible yet firm hands. He knows what you carry in your heart. He knows about the nights when everything feels too heavy. He understands the faith you maintain, even without guarantees. And that is why He is moving heaven and earth for this connection to blossom at the right time. Not at the time of anxiety, but at the time of spiritual maturity. This man who today seems distant is being led. Internal battles are happening within him that you do not see, but are part of the groundwork for what will be. God does not make mistakes in His path. And if He placed you in this story, it is because there is a purpose. Commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will do this. Psalm 37 verse 5. There is a silent moment that only the soul perceives, when love begins to manifest in self-care. At this point in the journey, the angels gently touch your shoulder and say, "Now it's your turn." You do not need to break yourself to fit into His world. You do not have to diminish yourself to accommodate His insecurities. True love never demands the sacrifice of your light. The angels want you to hear this with your heart. Your spiritual mission is not to abandon yourself for Him. It is to stay true to yourself while the other finds his own path. You can love without losing yourself. And you can wait without fading. Perhaps you have spent sleepless nights trying to understand His silences. Perhaps you have wondered what you did wrong for Him to pull away. But what you feel is not rejection. It's a reflection of His internal chaos. The love you offer is so pure that it frightens Him. And when someone has spent their whole life just surviving with fragments, wholeness seems threatening. Therefore, today, the heavens ask you for something sacred. Turn your focus inward. Look with compassion at the woman you are. The one who feels, who waits, who fights, who believes. The one who, even when tired, remains whole. Care for yourself as you think of Him. Nourish your soul with kindness. Surround yourself with everything that brings you joy. Be your own constant presence. Because deep down, what you truly desire from this love is not salvation. It is recognition. You want to be seen, honored, chosen, not out of need, but out of worthiness. And this worthiness starts now, when you decide to put yourself first. The angels say, while you take care of yourself, He heals. Because everything is connected. Your light brightens His shadows, even from afar. But it needs to stay lit. Do not dim your own light trying to be a lighthouse. You can guide Him and protect yourself at the same time. This love was not given to consume you, but to reveal you. And the deepest revelation is this: you are already complete. What comes from the other is a blessing, not a necessity. You can love with surrender, but without giving up who you are. You can wait, without forgetting to live. And it is in this sacred balance that miracles happen. Not everything that is true needs to be understood immediately. Love sometimes asks for more surrender than understanding. And now, it is time to accept. Accept that not every love starts off ready. That not every answer comes quickly. That there is beauty in waiting, yes. But above all, there is strength in enduring. You did what you could. You were present, you were light, you were a seed. And now, dear soul, it is time to trust in the harvest, even if it hasn't yet shown signs. The angels say, the love that is yours is not lost. It returns. It may come through different paths. It may arrive in ways you did not expect. But if it is true, it will return. Perhaps he still needs to get lost a little longer to find himself. Perhaps he needs to experience mismatches until he understands that you are always the point of peace. And that is okay. Because love isn't about controlling time. It is about keeping the heart open, even in the face of silence. You are not weak for feeling so much. You are strong for continuing to love with lightness, even when everything feels heavy. And now is the most sacred part of the journey: surrender. Trust. Letting go without closing the door. The angels are by your side, taking care of your heart, touching your soul with the same delicacy with which you touched his. They whisper, "You are not being left. You are being protected." Protected from what is not yet ready. Protected from new beginnings that would be incomplete. And while he walks toward his own healing, you walk toward yourself. Because the right love, when the time comes, will not be afraid. It will not hesitate. It will not run. It will recognize your light. It will honor your waiting. And it will find you whole, not because you stopped for him, but because you never stopped walking for yourself. For everything there is a season, and a time for every matter under heaven. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1.